Hello everybody and welcome to my new LED project. I'm Well-Edit, your LED guy. And today I want to take a look at these Christmas candles that have been popping up everywhere. So my buddy bought one of these and he let me take it apart, and it was really interesting what I found inside. So let's first give it a try. So you put this battery inside and it lights up in white. And then you can, with this little crappy remote, you can change it into the RGB mode. So there's a white LED inside and an RGB LED on top. And yeah, it has this mode where it cycles through all the colors. And that got me thinking if I could use this for one of my little LED trees that you maybe have seen in another video of mine. So, let's take it apart and see what we can find. Alright, that was not so bad. Oh, and then it pulls right out. Okay, so what we have here is this small LED here is the white LED, then here we have the RGB LED. You can recognize this because it has 4 legs, one for the common pole and one for each color. Then we have the infrared sensor that sensors the blinking from the infrared LED on the remote. And if you take a look under this thing, there's this circuit that controls all the modes and the blinking and everything. And then there's also a coil, and I presume this is a regulator, or yeah, probably a regulator. It takes 1.5 volt from the battery on these two terminals, and this coil and this thing here together transform it up to 3.2 volts. And I can measure the 3.2 volts between the negative terminal and this terminal here. And yeah, so basically I want to bypass the transformer because I have a 3 volt power supply, but I don't have a 1.5 volt power supply. And it's probably more efficient to bypass this transformer. Since the transformer probably has a rectifier behind it, I won't cause any issues to just bypass it and connect everything directly. So why am I so interested in this? My idea was to cut away this RGB LED and instead connect 3 white LEDs. And this way I can have, from one of these little circuit boards, I can have 3 blinking white LEDs. And I think maybe 60 or so of these would make a very nice little LED tree. So this is the test rig that I made. I just soldered the 2 wires to the terminal in the back. I cut off the RGB LED and soldered on 3 white LEDs. Now connect my power supply to it. And it would also help if I plugged it in maybe. Now you see the white LED has come on. And this is kind of the problem. It always starts in this mode. So if I make it into a tree, I will have to come up with something so I can switch the mode in RGB mode. And that's what it looks like. And I think this is pretty good. Unfortunately, you can't change the speed or anything, but I think it will be good enough. And I don't know if you can tell over the camera, these 2 LEDs are similar in brightness, but this one is slightly brighter. So yeah, I could try and change out the tiny SMD resistors, maybe put in another resistor in parallel, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you're looking at the LEDs from all the kinds of different angles, and I don't think you'll necessarily be able to tell. All right, I think I'll try to make this into an LED tree. Probably not going to show a lot of that. Yeah, I have a lot of work cut out for me. Let's get started. Alright, the tree is finished. Took me a few hours to make, but by the power of editing it only took a few minutes to watch. Hopefully not too boring. I'm pretty happy with how the tree turned out. You can see I twisted it up in the usual bonsai tree style that I prefer. You have the socket here. Normally that connects to a small power supply, but here I'm using my lab power supply. So just plug it in, and then you can see all the LEDs inside have come on, and then you have to switch to the RGB LED setting, which activates the LEDs on the top. And I have to say it looks really great. The camera has a hard time picking it up. I will try to film it in the dark, but that's I don't think it really does this little LED tree justice. In the beginning, the LEDs will all run in sync, so you can see that a third of the LEDs turns off at the same time, and then a third of the LEDs turns back on. After a few minutes, they have drifted so far apart that they come on individually, and you see here in the video. It was a pretty fun project to make. I had it running for a few days now, since it's Christmas time anyway, and I've noticed that sometimes one of the LEDs, or one of the circuit boards rather, decides to reset itself, and then the LEDs on the trees turn off and the LEDs inside come back on. So that's a bit annoying, but I guess after switching it on and off after a few days, it's not that bad. That's my little LED tree. Hope you enjoyed watching. The next project I'm planning is a tutorial on how to choose LEDs and power supply for your project. So I look forward to that. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.